Hi guys, I'm Niall Horan. My new album Flickr came out yesterday. I just want to say a massive thank you for all the support. Also a massive thank you for sending all your questions into Most Requested Live. Special thanks to Romeo and iHeartRadio for having me on the show tonight. Let's get it going. The first question is from Madeline from Edmonton. She says, are you planning any new tour merch soon that we can see online, or do we have to wait until March for the new tour? It's kind of a process in the making, really. It's kind of, we'll come up with ideas as I'm going and maybe hold some stuff back for the tour or put it out on the website or on the store as we have been doing. So it's kind of an ongoing thing. I'll let you know, basically. This is from Donya from La Plata. No idea where that is. How does it feel knowing you just released your first solo project? What emotion do you feel the most about it? Yeah, it's amazing. I obviously write a lot of songs and spend a lot of time in the studio over the last sort of year and a half. So I have been hiding these songs and listening to these songs and working on these songs for a long time. So it's nice to be able to finally give it to the world and it not be just my album anymore and it be yours. So yeah, and I'm kind of proud of it. I'm very proud of it actually, and fingers crossed that it does well. This is from Nadine from Indianapolis. Hello, Nadine. When you were recording Flickr, was there a strict routine to recording the songs, or was your producer flexible to your style? Great question. But you don't get questions like this all the time. Yeah, well, it was we sat down at the very start and we went through a schedule. We had a board, like a school board or whatever you want to call it, like with a marker, and we were kind of writing down the songs and seeing how long it would take to do each song and what kind of songs we would do each day, and what kind of drums we needed, what kind of guitar I wanted to play on that particular song, kind of general stuff like that. And we got a bit of a routine going. So there was one time where we were in the studio for about 3 weeks every day. We usually come in about 11, finish up whenever that would be. Whether it be sometimes we would finish at 8 or 9 in the evening, or we would finish at 2 in the morning. I don't live too far away from the studio, so I didn't mind that. But it was fun. We had a lot of fun. Jamming out was a lot of it. We did a lot of jamming to make sure that we got it right, and we had different takes to cover different things. But it was amazing for me working with incredible musicians who do this for a living, and to sit there and watch these guys in action and be involved with them playing their band, if you like, was a really cool thing. Yeah, good question. Thank you. This one is from Kira from Atlanta. Where I'll be there in a couple of weeks. I'm sure you'll be coming. What was it like announcing the 2018 North American tour and seeing how many dates you're doing in the next year? Yeah, it was amazing. Obviously, I'd been part of the conversations on how we did the tour and stuff like that. So it's been a while in the making, but I want to tour. I think it's first of all, it's only right that if you support me this well, I come to your city and play. But I love touring. Some people it doesn't suit. It suits me down to the ground. Especially in the States where you feel like you're actually touring. You get on stage, you do a show, you get on the bus, you drive for 15 hours, end up halfway across the next state. So it's really cool, and I'm sure the weather will be good as well. So it'll be nice, and a lot of the gigs are outside, so it'll be cool. This one is from Cara from Jamaica. Love Jamaica. Spent a bit of time there. It was really cool. When all the songs were picked for Flickr, did you decide the track order, or is it random? Yeah, it was weird because I had already decided the set list for the Flickr sessions before I'd come up with the track listing for the album. So I'd kind of got myself a little bit confused. Obviously, track listing, for the album is a completely different thing than a set list, because you have to keep, people interested in the show versus keeping people interested, when they have their headphones on. So it's a completely different thing. So we sat down and pulled the track listing together. I think getting off to the right start is good. I think when On the Loose comes in as track number 1, it hits you straight away, and that's kind of what I like about some of my favorite albums is you know what you're going to get straight away. So it's quite a cool thing. But another good question. This is from Niall from San Fran. I honestly have never met any more than 5 people called Niall, so this is interesting. I'm happy to say that my name has been popular with the girls here since 2010. My family is also from Ireland. There you go. How much time do you get to spend back home in Ireland? Is there a studio nearby you so you can record or just hang out? I don't get to spend as much time as I would like to in Ireland. It's with where the music industry is based, Ireland is kind of not on the top of the spectrum at the minute. But I try and get home 2 or 3 times a year. I kind of use Ireland to just go back and go back and do normal stuff again, and be just this person I was before all of this. I actually invested in a studio with a couple of my friends in Dublin, Camden Recording Studios, that I will be using at some stage when I get a chance. But that's going well. So, but yeah, generally I try and just hang around with the lads and see the fam and stuff like that. So, and drink a lot of lovely Guinness. Good question though, Niall. Cheers. This one is from Nick from Georgia. Now that you've announced the 2018 tour here in the States, will you be taking time during the day to play some golf in those cities? Correct and right. I will be doing exactly that. Golf, I got properly into golf when I was on tour. Obviously, in One Direction there was a lot of attention at the hotel, and walking down the street for a coffee was not that feasible. But getting behind the gates of a golf club was, and that's where myself and Harry spent a lot of our days before shows and days off and stuff like that. So I will be lugging the golf clubs onto the bay of the bus next week, and I will be playing most days. And actually, from where you're from in Georgia, there's some great spots, so I will most likely be playing some golf over there too. This one is from Faith from South Korea. How did you hear about Maren Morris, and when did you realise you wanted her on Flickr and to come out and tour? I'd heard about Maren probably mid last year, just as her album was coming. Obviously making a lot of noise, being a young girl as well. Kind of moved to Nashville to be a songwriter, and she was making a lot of noise in that country scene. And it's a country scene is one that I'm very interested in. Where I'm from in Ireland, a handful of country artists have made it big, like in terms of Garth Brooks, Shania Twain. But the country scene here in America was really interesting. I would go to award shows and hear a country artist being called out, and then kind of go in and have a look on Spotify or whatever afterwards and see who find out a bit more about this music. And I think it's an amazing scene. Everyone is so lovely on it. And then I just kind of I wrote this country style song in Seeing Blind, and I reached out to Maren. I seen her perform at the Grammys first, and she obviously won a Grammy. And then I reached out to her by email and sent her the song and kind of asked her if she wanted to be on it, and she said it was right up her street. So here we are today with her on it, and her voice is incredible. She's really brought the song to life. And the tour thing just happened afterwards. We was like, "Do you want to come and tour with me?" And she was like, "All right." So most of next year, apart from Europe and the UK and Ireland, we're touring together. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. She's great. This one is from Sophia from Madrid. When you were writing songs for Flickr, did you end up with more than you thought when it came time to record? I always hear stories from artists about that song that almost didn't make the album. Your thoughts? There was. I recorded probably. I said it was 30. I probably recorded 21 or 2, and I probably wrote about 50. So there was a lot of crap that I was able to get rid of pretty quick. But the rest of them, it was kind of, I liked the song, but it was more about the production, and it was kind of, you had to record it to see what it was going to be like. So yeah, that was a tougher process than whittling it down from the top 20 down into where we are now. But yeah, there's a couple of songs that I would think of that I didn't want on the album. Livia from New Mexico. For the cover of Flickr, was that a quick one take, or do they have to take 100 shots just in case? I did a shoot with David Needleman, who did great photographer, who did my Billboard cover this year, and I wanted to work with him again. Great guy, really enjoyed the shoot that I did with Billboard, so I wanted to get him back. And we did a whole shoot in London, a whole day, loads of different outfits and hats and all that kind of thing. And that picture was actually a lot further out. It was kind of like from there up, and they just kind of zoomed in the end and showed it to me. I was like, yeah, which is weird because I usually don't like photos of myself that are square on, but for some reason I like this one. I think it looks good on billboards as well because it kind of stands out at it. So there's just kind of a few shots taken around that time. Chrissy from Nashville. I'm going to see you at the Ryman in November. Can't wait for that myself. Are there any country artists that you would like to play with when you're in town? Obviously, getting Marin up would be great. She's obviously in Nashville. Getting her up would be amazing. I've become friends with Thomas Rhett, who's a great guy. Obviously, getting everyone up on stage can be a bit of a problem, but someday maybe. I would. Marin and Thomas are the two that I know well, so maybe we'll see what happens. Elena from Warren. Aside from Mara Morris, who else would you like to collab with for future performance or your next CD? I don't really know. Obviously, there's people that you would always like to collab with, but the Marin thing happened quite randomly, and I kind of like that. So, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's I like the random ones. They're pretty cool. Dawn from DC, Washington DC. She said, if you had to advise me on which song from Flickr would be best for karaoke, which one would you pick for me? Well, I don't know really what kind of a singer you are, so this is kind of a tough question. Good question, actually. Seeing Blind, I can imagine, would be a good karaoke one. It's got a bit of everything in it, so give that one a go. Alexa from Annapolis. What should we expect for your Flickr World Tour? I've never seen you play before. Will you be telling us background stories about the songs? Obviously we've got, when we make a set list, we can, I'll map out where I want to speak and stuff like that and introduce particular songs. I try and give people a bit of an insight into where this song came from and stuff like that and what it's about and things like that. So, so come along, get your tickets, come along and try and give you the value for money. Krystal from Livingston. What other names did you consider calling Flickr? I just wanted you to know that I bought mine yesterday and can't wait to see you on tour next year. Well, thank you for buying the album. I appreciate it a lot. I didn't really have anything else. Sometimes you see people trying to come up with something really poetic. Not really that poetic. So I was just like, this is my favorite song. It was Flickr was a poignant moment in the making of the album, and it really stood out to me. So I think Flickr was the only thing that I had in mind, really. Martina from Melbourne says, hey Niall, what 70s or 80s artist band represents a sound that's closest to you and what you did on Flickr? I would say either the Eagles or Fleetwood Mac. You can hear Fleetwood in a couple of songs and you can hear the Eagles as well. So they would be my standout bands. Leah from Toronto says, do you get to pick the Flickr tour bus, or you'll be riding it next year, or do you get to suggest the things you want in it? Do you want a specific colour? I'm not really fussed. Obviously, we're going to spend a lot of time on it, so you kind of want it to be comfortable. I try and stay away from air conditioning. Air conditioning on American tour buses is really hard and harsh on the old voice, so I'll be trying to stay away from that. Apart from that, good sized TV and something to watch, I guess, and that's pretty much it. Thanks again for watching my exclusive iHeartRadio Ask Anything most requested live chat with Romeo. My album Flickr, as I said, is out right now, so make sure you have a listen, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.